hosted by Fox News, has set restrictions on the crowded field. In order to make it to the primetime showing, candidates will have to place in the top 10 in an average of the 5 most recent national polls by August 4th. The GOP presidential debate, that's our topic this half hour. You can weigh in on our Fox 26 Facebook page or send a tweet. Use the hashtag Fox26forlife. Joining us live in the newsroom is our panel led by our senior legal analyst, Chris Tritico, our news analyst, Mustafa Tamiz, and public policy analyst, Jackie Bally. All right, so what do you guys think? Are we going to see some fireworks in this debate this week?
Absolutely. One of the problems with these debates that have this many people in there is there's just no way to control what happens. You throw Donald Trump in there, who has no filter and has no compunction about saying anything or doing anything, like giving out private cell phone numbers of other candidates. There's no way to tell what's going to happen. I see two things happening here: is Donald Trump trying to overtake the whole thing, and the candidates that are polling less than 10%, Governor Perry, Ted Cruz, doing everything they can to upstage and get that limelight that they're looking for to jumpstart their campaigns. Jackie.
Well, the polls are showing that you have, if we put Donald aside, it's showing that you have Jeb and you have Walker in the lead. And then fundraising, you have people like Ted, and of course Jeb has
over $100 million.
Has a lot of money.
Right.
So a lot of us, it's too early to really say what Donald Trump is going to be. It's just too far out. Polls that we've seen in the past that says this person is the front runner, that person rarely becomes, especially when you have a field this large, right, that person rarely becomes the victor. So I think what Donald needs to do, the reason why he's resonating so much with so many people is because he's talking about immigration. Some of us don't like quite the way he says it, but he is talking about something that's very important to most of us. He needs to focus on other policy areas so we can see exactly where he stands, because right now we don't know where he stands. The other elected officials will show their knowledge. They will show where their strengths are. I don't know if I would say they're going to upstage him. I do think you're going to see someone like Ted Cruz, who is just brilliant as a debater, and he will shine, and he will do very well.
Now, the problem with Donald Trump for this group is not only is he polling at 26%, 6% above Jeb Bush, he's not really saying anything. He doesn't have any policy agenda that he's put out. He's just talking, and that's resonating. And isn't that a problem for the rest of these?
It's kind of like Donald Trump is Indianapolis 500, and he's the pace-setting car, right? He's out front. He doesn't mind banging against the wall. He doesn't mind running into other cars. And so he's sucking the oxygen out of messaging for all of these other candidates. In order to even get in the news cycle, they're going to have to go further left to further right of Donald Trump, which is difficult. And for all that we say that he's not a serious person or a serious candidate, he is polling 6 points against Jeb Bush, who's raised $120 million. So Donald Trump is a real force in the Republican primary, and we really should pay attention to what he's saying, because he's reflecting the values of a large part of the Republican primary voters, and that ought to scare us.
Isn't that part of the issue? We saw this in the last two presidential races, that in the Republican primary, they have to go so far to the right to what I call out-conservative each other, they can't get back to the middle to win the election.
I don't think McCain went to the right of anybody, and he was our primary winner. And I don't think Romney went to the right of
he did.
A lot of non-conservatives thought so, but conservatives didn't think so at all. So no, that's not true at all. And also I want to talk about, one of you said that Donald Trump is saying a lot of nothing. But remember, when Obama ran, his mantra was, don't you want change? And whenever we were looking at the policies and what that change was, nobody really knew what that change was. So a lot of sound bites that a lot of popular campaigners use resonate with people if you agree with it or if you don't. Again, it's too early to tell exactly where Donald Trump will be.
I agree
but
with
the one thing we will say is he is talking about policy issues that are of concern to a lot of voters.
So on a field of 10, the 10 that make it into this, how does anybody get the limelight long enough to make any impact in a debate like this?
Well, if you think about it, if it's a 2-hour debate, everybody gets maybe a handful of sound bites, and whoever has the best sound bites is what's going to be covered the next day. And so, my money's on Donald Trump. But I think the people to watch in this is really the business community. I mean, this is not their father's Republican Party. The business community has been advocating for a comprehensive immigration reform. the issue in the Republican primary that Donald Trump has demonstrated is an anti-immigrant message. So if the business community thinks that the Republican Party is their home, well, that's really being challenged right now.
What about that?
Oh, that's not true at all. And a lot of people in the business community, you'll see polling, regardless of Republican or Democrat, people are saying that they are very concerned about the border problem that we've seen the last couple of years. They're very concerned about illegals coming in here, killing a lot of innocent people, having a lot of a crime wave that's associated with them. We're getting those numbers directly from the Obama administration. And the fact that Donald Trump, some of the things, again, I don't agree with the way that he said it, but he's talking about something that is very true and near and dear to a lot of our voters.
But aren't you both saying the same thing? Because isn't the business community saying we need comprehensive immigration reform to take care of these issues?
The business community is saying we need to first look at the border security issue that we're having. That's why Donald Trump, who is a very successful businessman, that's one of the first things that he jumped on.
I haven't heard that.
No, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the Greater Houston Partnership have invested a lot of time, effort, and money trying to get immigration reform done in this country. They don't think that someone like a Donald Trump or any of the people that are hardcore Republican primary advocates or the primary voters are on the same page. And what I'm saying is they have to look at this Republican Party and realize that this is not the party that represents them or their values.
Jeb Bush seems happy to sit back and let Donald Trump do what he's doing, waiting for what he thinks, and as you have said, maybe the inevitable that Donald Trump starts falling off and then Jeb Bush steps right back in.
I don't think that a lot of them are waiting for him to fall off, but the fact that Donald Trump has lived a private life, he is a successful businessman, he has not had a public life, so a lot of people don't know where he stands on a lot of policy issues. Jeb Bush has been a public figure for many, many years. A lot of the other candidates have been public figures for many, many years, so we know where they stand. Donald Trump is getting a lot of the attention, a lot of the limelight, because we have no clue where he stands. He is now making his position. He's now making those statements.
We're almost out of time, but Donald Trump was a Republican, then he became a Democrat, then he became an independent, now he's a Republican, and he's threatening, if you don't nominate me, I'll become an independent again and run my own campaign. Why are Republicans paying attention to that?
Well, because, look, Donald Trump is getting the press because his poll numbers are high, and the reason for it is not because of his very policy position. He is saying what a lot of Republican primary voters believe. This is in their heart, so he's articulating a message that's resonating with them. These are the kinds of things that they would want people to say, and that should scare all of us.
Okay,
last week when I told Jerry Bernberg that Dennis Rodman had endorsed Donald Trump, he thought I was kidding. He did. And you're seeing a lot of people like him who are not conservatives who said, I like Donald Trump because we are tired of illegals coming here, breaking the rules, and embracing them. That guy's not a conservative. He's not a Republican. And you see a lot of people polling. Polls have shown Democrats and Republicans are concerned about illegals coming into our country.
Dennis Rodman endorsing Donald Trump. There you go.
That's not the death knell of that campaign.
But he's not Republican. Aha, that's my point. He's your party.
You're
he's
absolutely
your party.
right.
That's my point.
I'm not sure if he's my party. I think
He
he's
said
Dennis'
that. He
party.
said he
All
was
right,
a
we're
Democrat.
going to leave it right there. We'll be back next week, Sally, wrapping up the hottest stories of the week.